Welcome back, everybody. So today I got another fixed blade for you guys. It is the Buck Model 119, but this isn't the normal type of 119. It's kind of like a military type. It's really hard to explain. I bought this a long time ago, and I can't really seem to find it because this, I don't know. This is just a very odd thing for me. I had this sitting in my knife collection for a little while, and I can't seem to find it. It's really odd. This has leather on nylon, and it has a Kydex, not really a sheath, but you guys can kind of see it in there. It's like a plastic. I shouldn't say it's Kydex. I think it's just regular plastic. It's kind of like a sleeve, and it's got stacked leather, so it's very much trying to be a K-bar, I guess, which I do have, and I will feature on my channel. Oh, by the way, this sheath has Molly. It's Molly compatible, so you can throw this on a backpack or a vest if you want to. It's just really great. I really do enjoy this knife. I really didn't have too much time to carry it. It was just more of a collector's piece. I have never cut anything with it. Real stacked leather, steel fittings, and it's got that clip point that Buck is so good at doing. So here it is, the Model 119. It even has a choil right here if you really wanted to choke up, but I wouldn't because it's way too close to this, and this part is really sharp. So could if you want to, but I wouldn't. It's really nice, very light. So I really wouldn't do too much. So it's got that palm swell on there, which is kind of nice. When I purchased this at Walmart years and years and years ago. I don't know what was going on, but it was in a crushed box, slid all the way into the back of their knife rack that's behind the glass door that you kind of have to ask permission, excuse me, can you help me? And I go over there with the key and they unlock it and all that. I asked them what that was, and the lady's like, oh, no one ever wanted it. And I was like, what are you talking about, no one ever wanted it? That's a buck. And she goes, yeah, well, not very many people, I guess, want this one. And I'm like, okay, well, why? And she goes, well, have you seen the box? And I'm like, no. And she pulls it out more, so I already knew it was slightly damaged, but I didn't know how damaged it was. The box was almost completely crushed. And she looked at me and she's like, did you still want to take a look at the knife? And I said, yeah. She took it out of the box as is, and it was perfectly pristine. It was in a plastic sleeve. This whole thing was in a plastic sleeve, and the plastic sleeve itself was dusty. Like, it just hadn't seen daylight in a long time. I looked at it and I said, well, how much is it? And she goes, well, it was priced at 70, but she was, I guess, like the sporting goods manager or something. She's like, oh, I can give it to you for like 40 because I don't know how bad shape it is. And obviously this blade was covered in oil. I mean, it had a bunch of just brown oil on it. It looked like it didn't have anybody's hands on it ever. So I didn't unsheath it or anything. I took it out of the box to look at it, and I just put it back in the box while it was still wrapped in plastic. And I told her, I said, yeah, I'll take it for 40, why not? And I didn't know what I was buying. So when I brought it home and I took it out of the plastic sleeve and I unsheathed it and I looked, and there was oil blotches everywhere. I thought that was actually kind of cool because it was caked on there. I mean, it wasn't even like something you can easily just wipe off. I had to really kind of go in there and kind of take it off. Well, this was a really good deal. I got it for 40. It was priced at 70. This was years back. So I can't find it. I mean, I'm sure you can elsewhere, but I tried to look on Amazon, and then I tried going on just plain Google, and I'm not really seeing too many of these. So I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's easier to find elsewhere, but I really didn't try to do an in-depth search. I just tried to do a really simple search, couldn't really find it. So this is a very interesting knife. If you're able to find it, I'd pick it up. If you don't want to buy a K-bar, because I know K-bars are pretty expensive. They can be between 80 to over 100, depending on the model. So yeah, this is just one of those really nice. It's stacked. It's real stacked leather. I mean, I'm rubbing off some of this access leather right here that they should have gone over to smooth out, and they didn't really smooth it out that well, or they did, but they just didn't care, and then they were just sheathing them up and throwing them in boxes, because there's a lot of unfinished work on this handle that could have been done better. Like, you can see this entire handle looks smooth until you get to this part right here, and it's just rough. Like, you can feel like there's still like strands of leather hanging off, and this looks almost like it was just done in a rush, but they did a pretty good job. I mean, it's still very, and it's light. So let's go ahead and get into the specs on this thing. Sorry, I'm blabbing my mouth off. I've only taken this out maybe a handful of times. So it's 10.5 inches long altogether, with a 6-inch blade. It's pretty big. And we'll go ahead and just weigh just the knife itself. Alright, so 9.02 ounces. It's not exactly a light knife, but for a fixed blade, it is pretty light. And we'll see how thick everything, how wide everything is. 4.2 on the blade, and on the handle, I almost popped out the battery there. 26.4 on the handle. So I mean, that's already, that palm swell it actually does make this pretty nice. Other than that, I mean, you have the guards right here, so it's pretty decent. So this could be used as a military knife, sure. Like I said, I haven't really had too much carry time with too many fixed blades. I don't really carry fixed blades. I don't mind collecting them. It's just the carryability of them. Now, as far as price tag goes, the only thing I can find is the special edition, or special, it's the 119 buck knife. It just looks like a regular buck knife that doesn't look like this. It's got a black handle with silver bolsters, and that ranges, says $86.27 on Amazon, but there's different. You have to select a certain type of buyer for it. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is just one of those really cool ones that kind of look like a buck, but not a buck. Look like a K-bar, but it's a buck. So this is just one of those really neat knives. It's I mean, I would like it more if it had like more of a leather sheath to it, other than this leather sleeve that's on here, and that is real leather, by the way. And you got that plastic insert in there, which I don't know how well that's going to hold up to the elements, but I mean, it's there. I do appreciate that it's a snap closure. I also appreciate that you could also kind of, do this number right here if you really feel like you need to keep it that secure. Like, if I don't know if that really makes too much of a difference. It does come with all this stuff. I didn't add anything to it. It came with everything that you see that's on this knife. So the paracord with this little fastener right here, and of course this sheath, this Molly compatible sheath, which is really nice. Even has a buck 119.05 BK4. So maybe that's what I should probably look up next time. Sheath made in China. Oh, that's always nice. But yeah, it's a pretty decent military type knife. It didn't really break the bank. I don't know the exact number of, the price tag on this thing. I really have no clue, but I mean, if it's any importance to you, I'm sure you guys can look it up. But it's a pretty neat knife. I have other knives. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks a bunch.